Well, hey. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, or as I like to say, happy second Sunday, because we all know I hate Mondays, except for this. I like this. Legal updates, true crime stories. Yep, makes me happy. Welcome, everyone. Hello, always, and Kyle's, and Felon Autistic Shill, what have you done? Felon? There's a story behind that, I'm sure. You're going to have to fill me in. Welcome, Grace and Sandy and Robskis. Good to see you. Hello, small cute puppy. Nice to have you here. Yeah, it's gonna be a little different. I do have a treat for you. I have a new one. Yes, a new case. A new case with a live court trial. Yeah, yeah, gonna be something. But anyway, let's just start with the updates first. Gosh, are you all sitting there with bated breath waiting for me to pull up the announcement from Andrew Heard's team? I mean, come on, really. It's been what, months and months and months we've been hearing about this case. And for me, it's been years of coverage. Years. Like, I'm not kidding. Me and my cohort with the cognac voice, this smooth woman, Mandy, and I'm sure Kyle's Goldfish can attest, and several others like Intrigue and Sarah. We've been following it for quite some times. And yeah, mm, it's just not stopping. We had a trial, and we did have a verdict, and many of you here in the chat know, and many of you listening on YouTube, if you follow me, you know that Johnny Depp won that defamation case, $10 million worth. Yes, Amber did get a $2 million settlement also, but hey, they're just not letting it go. Amber's appealing. Yes, she is. Yes, she's appealing. I know it sounds a little crazy, but yes, she is. She's not happy. There is also much to do on social media about this, and I for one think it's a bit biased the way everybody's coming out there saying that the verdict was not just, that the whole system's corrupt, that we all just believe Johnny because he made a great pirate once in a movie. We're all starstruck, and it's really got nothing to do with due process, legal, or evidence, and yeah, that's pissing me off. But besides that, there are some people out there that should know better. There are some very famous, big people in domestic violence support that have been advocates for a long time that are just really using this issue to slam Johnny Depp. They refuse to believe the court verdict. They refuse to believe the evidence that was put out. They're just not having it. And to say that it's disappointing is, well, not exactly the word that I would use, but it's YouTube and we're out in public here. So, anyway, I'm not even going to mention their names. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I have to say, Kyle's, I'm going to put that up because damn, Kyle's Goldfish, my friend, always with the comments here. Yes, in regards to Elaine Breredoff, she wins the internet today. She pledges to assist Amber's new team whenever needed. So, not at all then. Top hosiery from Elaine. Pledges. Yes, she used pledges. And we all know about that pledge versus donation debacle that happened during the court. Yeah, Sandy, I agree. Pathetic does come to mind as far as words, as far as how social media has been lately in regards to slamming Johnny. For the purpose of, let's just be clear. We need to believe Amber because she's a woman. And all of us, we don't know. We don't know what we're talking about. We don't know what we saw in that courtroom. We're snowed over by the man who is the abuser because it has to be that way. Because that's the story they want to write. Because convenient, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. And I'm pushing back everywhere that I can. I hope all of you are actually looking at the evidence. I don't want to sway anybody to any direction in any case that we cover. I want you to look at the evidence. I want you to listen to the court I want you to actually, use your best judgment, you know, and that's what I hope everybody did. I watched you all watch the trial with me, look at the evidence presented, and I was very happy with the outcome. I actually thought it was going to be much more difficult. I didn't think that they were going to be able to do it because defamation is notoriously very difficult to prove, but they did. And now they're still getting slammed by large organizations that should know better, by really accredited what women, strong women who have done good things in the past for domestic violence and have helped change the laws and get better guidance for others and therapies and help educate. And yet they just going off the deep end on this one. They really are. Mm. And I just don't understand it. I just don't. I mean, I'm thinking they just didn't see the same trial we did, or they didn't watch the trial. That could be it too. Maybe they just didn't even look at the evidence because they just want to believe their advocate. Their advocate, who a jury of 7 people decided was not telling the truth. Well, there we go. Well, anyway, let's get to the statement. Let's have some fun with this, okay? So today, dropped out of the sky our little notice here from Amber Heard's team, okay? Amber Heard's team. Amber Heard hires a new appellate counsel. Renowned First Amendment attorneys David L. Axelrod and J. Ward Brown of Balliard's Fire will lead the appeal to overturn the jury verdict. Yep, that's what they're going to try to do. Now, this, if you don't know, is a very good legal team that she's got here. They actually went up against Sarah Palin's defamation lawsuit against the New York Times, and they won. Okay. Yeah. Let me say, like on August 15th, which was today in Washington, D.C., Amber Heard hired Balliard's Fire as her lead appellate counsel in preparation for filing to appeal the June 1st, 2022 defamation trial verdict. Okay, that'll be led by David Axelrod and J. Ward Brown. The pair successfully had defended the New York Times against Sarah Palin's defamation lawsuit earlier this year. All right. Jay has been representing journalists and new organizations and documentary filmmakers and other speakers in First Amendment cases for over 30 years. David is a former federal prosecutor and first chair trial lawyer who represents companies and individuals in high-stakes civil litigation. We welcome the opportunity to represent Ms. Heard in this appeal, as it is a case with important, hold on to your seats, please, First Amendment implications for every American. Who does that sound like? Said David L. Axelrod and J. Ward Brown in a joint statement. We're confident the appellate court will apply the law properly without deference to popularity, reverse the judgment against Ms. Heard, and reaffirm the fundamental principles of freedom of speech. I smell Rottenborn. Remember that opening statement? Remember that closing statement? Like you gotta go for Amber. It's just un-American if we don't. You remember? I do. And you know why it smells of Rottenborn? Because like Elaine has stepped down. Guess who's stepping up? Guess who's still there? We haven't heard from him in a while. Guess why? He'd been behind the scenes here, making sure that this appeal goes through. Ben Rottenborn of Woods Rogers Vanderventer Black will continue to represent Heard as co-counsel, while Elaine Charlson Breadhoff of Breadhoff, Cohen and Brown in Nadhaft is stepping down. This is the perfect time to pass the baton, said Elaine. I have pledged to Amber and her appellate team my complete cooperation and assistance as they move forward on a path towards success. You know, because she's been doing such a bang-up job lately with PR and everything else. And boy, I'll bet you they'll be calling her every day, huh? Do I sound snarky? I feel snarky. If that sounded snarky, yeah, I meant it. This is cracking me up. I'm sorry. Elaine actually offering her assistance is definitely, definitely cracking me up. Okay. It then goes on to give all the praises of the legal the legal team itself. But I have to say, it is an outstanding legal team. I mean, great. They got good ones. Yes, they did. Yeah, yeah. They definitely, definitely did. Hey, Liam. Hey, Roden. Hey, Wrecker, welcome. Hey, Dr. Osiris, long time no see. How you doing? Okay. Hey, Randy, welcome. See you all sneaking in here. Thank you for coming. Yeah, Rovsky, I can't help it. I'm having, forgive me. It's Monday. I don't like Mondays. For me, it's second Sunday. Okay, but I'm telling you, that made my morning. I was livid, just livid laughing all over the place. Like at first, I'm like, heh, heh, heh. You know, come on. Are they going to drag this out? Like for how long? For how long? Okay. Well, it is a good team. It's going to be a good fight. Okay. But, 7 people. I mean, it was unanimous. It was 7 yeses on 3 questions, 21 yeses that Amber defamed Johnny Depp with malice. With malice. Okay, really going to be hard to defend. Okay. The New York Times, Sarah Palin, that, well, it was a case, not really that dicey. It was Sarah Palin, and the New York Times said she didn't know what she was talking about. And you know what? It was Sarah Palin. So, like, the lawyers are good, but I mean, it really wasn't an uphill climb. Not like this one. Okay. I think this is going to be an uphill climb. I really do. And, hey, more power to them. But anyway, that's really, besides being annoyed at social media, which I am, and I know some of you are too, I really don't know what more we can do but to keep speaking out about, the evidence and what we saw, and just, not getting the name calling and all of that other, but the gentle pushback of, would you please look at the evidence? Or how about citation needed? Like, let's ask that a little bit, because like even Eve Barlow was out there recently. Everybody, Michelle Dauber, Charlotte Proudman. I mean, I respected these women. Well, not Eve. No, I can't really claim that. I'm not going to lie on YouTube. I never respected Eve Barlow. Her opinion's been a little tainted, and her attitude and the way she approached things has been a little much, to say the least. So I can't really lie to y'all and say I had much respect for how she approached things. I didn't. But the other two have done some great things. And to see them turn around like this and be as hateful as they have been out on social medias and calling us all sheep, amongst other things, because we looked at the evidence, is beyond me. Beyond me. Hey, Ginger, welcome. But all right. So enough of this one. Thank you. We're going to have more Depp. We're going to have more Heard. Y'all aren't going to hear the end of this for a while. I'm sorry. I'm going to have it on the channel because I've been covering it from the start, from way back divorce time. So, I'm going to have to see it out. So there's going to be an appeal, and we're going to cover it all the way through. But on the other one, let's move on to something else. We also have an update on Marilyn Manson. Now, I did cover that a couple of weeks ago, and as soon as I got off the air, I found out that the judge went ahead and was going to allow the motion to conduct limited discovery and move that actual trial date of hearing date, rather, not trial date, move the hearing date up for Brian Warner, aka Marilyn Manson, in his favor, moving it up to hear the motions and everything against Evan Rachel Woods, to make discovery move faster along, even though they do have those slap motions out there, the motion to strike under the slap by both Evan Rachel Woods and Ilya Gore. They both filed them against them because they're both named separately. So they filed slap motions. So she's not hearing those yet, but she's definitely on the 18th this week. She's going to hear the motions for Marilyn Manson on moving discovery forward so he could start presenting. As you know, I covered 2 weeks ago. They did some they did some awesome filings, okay, with some statements there that totally blew the claims of Evan Rachel Woods out of the water. We've got a falsified FBI letter. We've got the actual people that were in the videos that she said may be dead or harmed or violated, who are saying, "No, I'm an actress, and yes, I was of legal age. And what are you talking about? You never even spoke to me." We also have other people saying that they were approached to tell stories fitting of other stories, etc., etc., etc. You know what? I'm not going to weigh in either way because it's not actually, the case isn't being presented, step by step before the judge and jury yet. Right now, it's just the judge and it's the plaintiff and the defendants, and they're going back and forth with paperwork. I will say, just reading the briefs, I'm much more entertained by Brian Warner's briefs than the other side. Fantastic lawyers. They get right to the point. They lay it all out, and they don't exactly give you a lot of wiggle room. And I'm impressed with that kind of legalese. I am. And he's hired. He's hired well. Okay, and we're gonna keep following this one. But as of now, on August 18th, over there in Los Angeles, California, in the court, we're going to have that hearing on the motion to conduct limited discovery pursuant to, the civil procedures that are done, and a request for a continuance of defendant's motion to strike to permit such limited discovery. Now, they've already said, she's going to go for one or the other. She's either going to allow them to move forward with discovery right away, or because there's a motion to strike based on the slaps, she's going to say no. But it doesn't look like she's going to say no. It really looks, because you know what she did? She moved this hearing up before the slaps. She delayed the slaps until September 13th. And she moved this one up. So I'm not a lawyer. I tell you that all the time. But for me, I'm thinking discovery is going to happen in this case going forward. I really don't see, with what's been presented and what I have read in the slap, that Evan Rachel Woods or Ilya Gore is going to win no slap or dismissals. I just don't see it. And I'll bet you a quarter, Mandy, what do you say? Bet you a nickel. I don't think you'll go against me on this one either. I don't know. Maybe you will, but I'm just saying. I don't think they're going to dismiss. I think it's going to go forward. So there we go. All right. So that's the update on Marilyn Manson. That's a lot. Let me take a breath. I hope you're doing well, Mandy. It's been crazy, right? I'm sure you were excited with that news today. Were you laughing? The first thing I said, "Oh, Elaine." And that's the second thing I said, no slap. Right, Mandy? There's definitely no slap. Yeah, I thought you might be with me on it. But, all right. All right, so how would you guys like to talk about a new case? You may have noticed on the thumbnail that there was another name dropped recently. Anybody know anything about Matheau Moore? Have you heard the name? Anybody heard? Yes, I know, Grace. If you're going to do a slap, let's slap Elaine. No violence. I'm not promoting violence, YouTube. That was a joke. It was a joke, YouTube. Okay, just so they know, they get a little crazy with that kind of stuff. But yeah, bye, Elaine. See ya. I'm gonna miss the cardigan of mischief. The cardigan of the befundle. I'm gonna. Aren't you? Come on, Mandy. She was funny. She was definitely worth a couple of laughs. She was frustrating, though, to read. Those are some of the worst legal briefs I've ever read. I don't know, right, Mandy? I don't know. I'm trying to think of worse than that. Well, I could think of one other YouTuber, but I don't mention their name. And no matter who they hire, because I think they try to write them themselves. Just get the lawyer to sign off. I don't know. But theirs are probably the worst run-on sentences, 17 paragraphs long with absolutely nothing in it, like bubkus, like a bubble of air brief. Yeah. Hey, Lone Wolf. Yep. Yeah. I'm telling you. There's my next weekly event: mayhem, madness, cardigan of mischief. Yeah, Grace. You know what? It could be Grace. You never know. I bet you she does come up. We are doing mayhem on Wednesday. If anybody didn't see on my coming events on the channel, yeah, we're doing it during the middle of the week, and we're not doing it Eastern Standard Time around midnight. No, no, we're gonna do UK midnight. We're gonna do like 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know, and just shake it up a little bit because it's midnight somewhere. It's gonna be midnight in the UK, so that's okay. But hey, mayhem, wherever there's mayhem, there's going to be. And I'm telling you, Elaine is definitely going to be maybe a little bit of a mention on that show too. Hey, Dick, how you doing? Yeah, Mindy, let me just pull this up. Okay, before we carry on to the next one. Okay, I bet her feelings are hurt. I wish I had sympathy for her, yet here I am. No sympathy. You're not alone, love. And Bear, I got a big heart. I care about the world. But Elaine gave me a headache. Elaine had me scratching my head. Elaine had me wondering where the hell she got her law degree from half the time. I know. Exactly, Mandy. Oh my God. Yes. To put your reputation on the line for a known liar and abuser just to have your client drop your ass after 6 years. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm laughing. It's Monday. Forgive me, people. Second Sunday and all. But that is funny. Because you know what? She was the first one out there. She was singing the song. She was singing that song and just supporting her no matter what. And, unfortunately, that's the thanks you get, right? Mm-hmm. That is the thanks you get. Mm. Kinder egg degree, the law degree. Hey, Robski, kinder eggs. Aren't they the ones that have the little toy inside? Like, you break it open, it's got like a little, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Ginger, the sigh of deep all the time. Were we not scratching our head during that trial? She was calling her own client by the wrong name. She called her own witnesses by the wrong name. She was arguing with the judge from day one. Like, it was bad legal manners. Bad legal manners. All right. All right. Well, let me tell you about Matheau Moore. Has anybody in the chat heard of Matheau Moore or know anything about this case? Okay, this is coming out of Ohio. All right. It's from a murder in 2020. Okay, in Delaware County, Ohio, there's going to be a trial. It actually starts tomorrow for jury selection. It's going to be covered by Court TV if you want to see it live. There's very limited people allowed to cover it live. You had to get a special citation, but Court TV will be pulling it out. And so if you want to watch it there, it's going to be there. Delaware, Ohio. An Ohio man accused of murdering his wife and staging the scene to look like a suicide. And he is facing life in prison if he gets convicted. Okay, he's up on 3 charges of intent to harm, intent to murder, and causing harm, which ended up in murder. Like, those are the charges. I mean, they're murder, gonna have life if they convict him. Okay, they found the severely decomposed remains of his wife, Emily Noble, who at the time was 52 years old. They were discovered hanging from a tree. 4 months after the disappearance was reported of Emily, they were found about a mile from her home in the woods, hanging from a tree in September of 2020. She was reported missing in May 24th or 25th of that year by her husband, Matheau Moore. Okay. She was last seen alive by her husband, and he's the one who reported her missing. He was actually reported to have been acting quite strangely. You're going to hear testimony from quite a few of the witnesses saying how bizarrely he was acting. He actually was, after he reported her missing, he told the police that he was asleep when Noble left the home without her car, without her keys, wallet, or a cell phone, just vanished from the home. Okay. In those following months, he had posted some flyers, and he pled with people to do searching and stuff, although he never attended any of the searches. He never went out there and searched with anyone, although he pled with people to conduct the searches. He also pled with the producers of the Vanishing podcast. I don't know if any of you all actually watched the Vanishing podcast, but it was just, oh, he was up there asking for his missing wife, any information on this person, on the case. He missed her, he wanted her back, blah blah. Although, during it, he kind of misspoke a lot. He said she went missing around Labor Day, although she went missing in May, which was Memorial Day. Now, maybe stress, he misspoke, but it did kind of catch the attention of law enforcement. Okay. So did the condition of the body, but I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. Emily Noble's remains were found less than a half mile from her home that she owned in Westerville, Ohio. It had a USB cord around her neck, according to an autopsy report, which listed the cause of death as multiple injuries to her head and neck. Moore has pled guilty to 1 count of felony murder, 1 count of purposeful murder, and 1 count of felonious assault. Jury selection begins on, as I said, tomorrow, the 16th of August, and court TV is going to carry the proceedings, gavel to gavel, and I'm going to be watching. I think this is going to be a very interesting case, because let me tell you what else I dug up about it, because, I can't just leave it with a couple of articles for court TV, because, I went to the source, as you know I do. And first of all, let me tell you, there's been 3 continuances in this case, and they just did file for another one. And when the judge came up to it, they said, no, 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 not even for the state. I am not delaying this anymore. That's it. We're going through. So tomorrow there will be jury selection. End of story. Judge isn't having it. They're done with that. Okay. The indictment was actually filed on June 17th of 2021. That is more than a year and a couple of months after, okay, the body was found. That's a long time. Okay, from the demise. She's supposedly, he killed her in 2020. All right. Okay. Now, what's been going on between the plaintiff, which is the state of Ohio, and the defendant, which is Matheau Moore, and his attorneys? Okay. Mostly they've been fighting about expert witnesses. Okay. The reason that Matheau is up on murder charges is that when the coroner did their autopsy, the report came back that there's no way that could have been suicide, that there were injuries to her face and her neck that were suspicious of someone who had just attempted suicide on their own, that the way it was done, they did a forensic report. It came back. They put all the studies. They said, nope, this is homicide. Someone did this to her. She did not do it to herself. And because of that, they went through with the indictment. And after investigating and gathering evidence, they charged Matheau Moore, the husband. That's not uncommon. We know, wife ends up dead. Who are you going to look at first? Partner. Partner's usually the one we look at first. Okay. And they found enough to charge him. But, the defense, Matheau Moore says, absolutely not. I'm going to bring testimony forward that shows you that, I didn't do it. So all they really have is expert witness testimony. Now, there were 2 witnesses in particular that they were going back and forth about. One was a Professor Garvin, which the defense is bringing forward to contest the findings of all of those reporting on the plaintiff's side, and there were more than one, for the autopsy and for all those medical examiners and everything. They got experts together, and they actually confirmed what the autopsy said and what the medical examiner was putting in their report. And this Professor Garvin is supposed to go against it, and they were going back and forth about that. Whether or not she was expert enough, because there's only one study that she's referring to, and the others have many more. And there seemed to be some sketchiness about the study that they did not want to agree with. So they did have a pretrial hearing on the 10th recently, and the judge did say that after speaking with Professor Garvin and going over the evidence that was provided on why she was going to testify the way she was, that they were going to allow it. And they weren't going to limit it as was requested by motion by the state. Of course, they want to limit what comes forward about the testimony on that end, but they're going to let it through. So we're going to have witnesses. We're going to have expert witnesses, just like we've seen in other trials, where one side's going to say one thing and one side's going to say the other. And it's going to depend on who you're going to believe as far as who has the credentials and who is more credible in the statement and who addresses the evidence. That's where it goes with that. Now, they did have another witness that they wanted, a Nichols, okay, and the defense was going to bring them forward, but they were trying because of his health. This expert witness Nichols was in ill health, and they were trying to get it by Zoom, but because of the lateness of it or whatever, they were going back and forth, and like they were filing back and forth on each other about this man coming forward because they said they didn't get the notice until the end of June, not enough time. We're not going to go against it. Why should he go by Zoom if nobody else is going by Zoom? The court is open, back and forth, back and forth. Well, on August 10th, the judge, of course, addressed that also and said, nope, hey, didn't have to address it because all of a sudden, because they're going to allow Garvin's testimony in, they pulled Nichols from the witness list. Okay, he's out. Okay, not going to appear. Didn't have to address it. Just pulled the motion as far as Zoom, so I'm going to have to see what happens with that, whether he's going to show up at the end or what, but they actually just waited on that and said, nope, not gonna have to worry about it. And like I said, they also had a motion to dismiss that they had to deal with. Not dismiss, to offer more of a continuance based on the fact that now they were allowing Garvin's testimony in full without, limiting it in any way. The state decided that no, they need a continuance, and the judge denied the continuance, and the state immediately appealed. So there's an appeal on this judgment for the continuance by the state. Like, they don't want the trial to start tomorrow. As far as I can tell, this trial still, as I just looked, is still on for tomorrow. Jury selection going forth. Nobody on the appeal has done anything about it, as of yet. But they're appealing it because they just want more time. Okay, on that. Both the plaintiff and the defendant have filed briefs on who their witnesses are going to be, what kind of evidence there is. On the plaintiff's side, which is the state, they've got autopsy reports, they've got physical evidence, they've got the testimony of the examiner, they've got several doctors listed on there. They have friends of the family, friends of Emily Noble, people that knew Matheau Moore and that know Emily Noble. And it's a pretty, it's not extensive. I'd say it's less than 25 listed there. On the plaintiff side, they have a few, they have Dr. Garvin, they have the curriculum vitae as evidence of a couple of professionals. That's the evidence. I know what I'm talking about because I got a big piece of fancy paper here. You're going to believe me. So all they really have are the contra reports of testimony that are going to conflict with what the autopsy medical examiner is actually saying and what the experts that are supporting the medical examiner are going to say for the state of Ohio. So that's going to be interesting. They also have some aerial map that they're going to talk about the area that because of where she was found, or so. I mean, it's kind of bizarre, but yeah, that's listed as the evidence too. I can't wait to see how they're going to present that. That should be quite interesting. But even better than that, they actually had to file just recently today. They did file what they call a motion permitting the use of a stun cuff during the jury trial. Now, they've got this motion in there that they just filed because based on the testimony of I think it's a sergeant who is familiar with the case here. It is get his name here for you. It is Sergeant Sheriff's it's the sheriff. Okay, the sheriff has concerns that based on things that have been happening with the defendant Matheau Moore and his behavior in his recent motion hearings and his hearings and his behavior before the court. They want to put this stun cuff on him underneath his clothes so that the jury doesn't see it, because they don't want to prejudice the jury, but they're afraid that he is going to either try to attack somebody or escape. And the stun cuff is supposed to, do an electric volt to him to stop him from doing any such thing. But so that should make your actual watching of the trial starting tomorrow a little more interesting. There's a stun cuff under there somewhere, yeah. So it's going to be, a little very interesting, to say the least. Okay, but it's not often that they come forward before the trial even starts to say they have concerns about how the defendant will be acting in the court. They also asked that if the sheriff could come and speak to the court themselves or do a phone call of some type to say what those concerns actually were. Okay, but they do not want to present a risk to the jury or anybody who's in the courtroom, and they just think it's in the protection of the people and everyone involved, and to keep everything cool, that they are allowed to have this stun cuff placed on the defendant whenever he is in the court. And I thought that was interesting. I do not often read those. I don't see those often. I don't. Yeah. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Megs. Hey, Beaver. How are you? It's nice to see you guys come. All right. So, are there any questions on this new case? Hey, Mrs. Cassandra. Let me just pull this one. Okay. Hi, Aaron. Let's see. Stun cuffs sound like something they'd put on Hannibal Lecter. Yes. Worried if he was going to eat a juror, well, the thing, Kyle's sounds excellent. Can we get one when Trump goes on trial? I don't know. Let's talk about that tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about Trump around 3:00 tomorrow. That's something I can ask the panel. That's the thing. Hey, fitness friends, how are you? Welcome, Mr. Mario. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Yeah. They could just put a bank collar on them. Very funny. Very funny, Aaron. I hear you. But no, I don't read this often. I don't know about you, Aaron, or Kyle's, or Mandy. Like, I don't read this often that they actually requested this, I don't get that. I just don't get that at all. But I don't know. Oh, I'm glad you've all been well. This is good. All right. So that case on Matheau Moore is interesting. Mostly they have the testimony from what I was looking in the court records is a lot of the testimony is going to be from friends or family that said he acted like really weird about the whole thing. He did not participate in any of the searches. He kept getting when she disappeared wrong. There was some problem with his explanation to the officers that were investigating, and then what he said later. There's some conflicts there. It does seem a little imbalanced when I'm reading the court briefs on both sides, both the plaintiff and the defendants. It's where they list the type of evidence they have and, who they're going to be calling as witnesses. It does look a little more like they have more on the plaintiff's side, but I'm really not going to judge until we get into the courtroom. I'm just going to say it doesn't sound, there's a stun cuff involved now, and I'm like a little leery onto what's going to be happening there. Who knows? Kyle's go. Okay. I know, Ginger, right? I have never seen a motion like this right before trial. Like, I mean, I don't do a lot of murder cases. I will be covering murder though. And I found out that I've been, a lot of people are saying it murder, like murder or murder, just like I was the other day. I don't know if it's murder, but anyway, Alex, the one that they suspect killed his son and his wife and may be implicit in quite a few other things going on. There's like more lawsuits involved in this than just the murder charge. There's a lot of civil suits. There's a lot of criminal investigation going on for past things. Whew, that one's a hot mess too. But even on that one, they don't think, I can't imagine they would use the stun cuff, you know. There more people involved with that one. Hmm. Uh, oh man. Aaron says if Trump goes to jail, they'll deny him spray tan and he'll go pasty in a couple of weeks. Oh, God. Okay, I think that's the least of his worries about if he goes to jail. I mean, seriously, his spray tan. I mean, he's gonna look bad. You know what? Some of you will know that in the Discord, we actually had a little conversation about that. What makes Trump orange? We'll be talking about it tomorrow. If you want to find out, come on over there. We'll be talking about it tomorrow. We have some theories. We found some stuff. We figured it out. Murder. Okay. Is that duh? Like murder? Okay. Okay. That's what I'll say. I'll go with you, Aaron. All they can do is like comment on the back of the video that I messed up his name. I'll say it like 20 different ways. I'll get it right eventually. Well, yeah, it's gonna be like a little rough. Gonna be a little rough this trial for Moore. But on that, does anybody have any questions about Manson, Depp, or Moore? That's what we're here for today. So, anybody have anything like that? Hey, Spooky. I'm glad you're seeing it. How you doing? What are you covering now, Spooky? I know you get into this stuff too. Aaron. Do they? Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron, because it's Aaron. Okay. So maybe it is murder. Okay. That's how I'll say it then. Yeah. Well, anyway. All right. Well, on that, then let me just tell you what's going on for the week. Tomorrow we'll be doing a little bit of a political stream on Trump. There's been a lot going on. We're on hiatus right now from the January 6th hearings that we were covering with High Inquisitor. And I have been following a lot of what's been going on with SCOTUS. They are also on break, and so we're all on break. But while we had the break, a whole bunch of stuff that you may have seen on Twitter, YouTube, all over CNN, and everywhere else you go out there on social media for your news or just for what's going on. There's some stuff we're gonna have to talk about tomorrow. It's gonna be like 3:00. Yes, Liam Wakefield, I did. If this is a question, I'm going to assume that this is about Amber Heard. Yes, we did. I snarkily read that, Liam, that they are First Amendment specialists. They believe that this is a First Amendment case, and as Americans, they have to set it all straight, like so that the freedom of that First Amendment is just going to be there, and we set that freedom of speech in stone because Amber Heard's been violated. Her First Amendment rights have been violated. Yeah, but no, no, I snarkily did cover it, Liam, as I just did now too, because I think it's hysterical. I really do. I actually do. Yeah. No, Spooky, I'm not okay. It's Monday. I don't like Mondays. Elaine Vernoff resigned. Okay. They hired First Amendment attorneys. I had to listen that Ben Rottenberg's going to come back and tell me I'm not a patriot because I don't believe Amber Heard. I'm not okay. I'm really not. Yeah. Kyle. Oh, that's what kind of Kyle? That's you know what? During the trial, that might have been something. Can we get a stun gun for Amber Heard? And if there is another trial, every time she fibs, zap, zap, zap. Ooh, like a lie detecting stun cuff. Wouldn't that be something? That would have made the trial quite interesting, wouldn't it? Maybe it would have made it a lot shorter, Ginger, if you're referring to Amber, I don't think she is ever going to go away. And if you'll all go back to the testimony of the lovely Dr. Shannon Curry, where she said, based on her personality disorders, this one's never going to let go. Never. And I believe her. And she's definitely proven us all right. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're sending me lots of thank you, Spooky. I need those hugs and everything. This is rough. These people are, you know what? It's ridiculous. This Depp Heard trial is never going to end. I will be covering this until like I'm gray. I think. I don't think it's ever going to end. I mean, I feel for them. Yeah, I'm feeling for them. Rob Scare, are you singing that song for me? Thank you. I really don't like Mondays. Can you blame me? Can you blame me? Especially when they started with these kind of stuff. I'll tell you. Stun Cuffs and Amber Heard and Elaine Berdoff and Ben Rottenberg. Oh, come on. All right. But the good news was on the Manson trial, you know, that was still moving. That wasn't so bad. Yep. I hear you, small cute puppy. You're singing that song for me too. Okay. I don't know. Here we go. Dr. Osiris says, Amber Heard violates my First Amendment rights to not be offended by stupid, and I'm not even American. You know, I'm with you. I'm with you. What about my First Amendment rights not to have to put up with this anymore? Like, I hear you. I really do. And I know, hey, the First Amendment is nothing really to laugh at, but come on, when it gets abused like this, really? Really? That's all I have to say. Yeah, well, tell me about it. I know. Hi. It's just abused, I know, Beaver. She did so many stunts. She would be. You know what? It's. I'll tell you. Kyle. All I could picture now is her twitching twitching on the stand because that stun cuff would have been going off like all the time. Like she just would have been doing the twitch dance up there. Spooky. Good question. I'll put this up. We have a couple minutes, so because it is an update on Manson, I'm going to address that for you. All right. First off, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not even a paralegal. Okay, I just love the law. I love reading legal briefs. I've been doing this for a while, quite a while. I've been covering Manson from the beginning, when the first allegations came out. There are some streams that I was a panelist on over on Cheshire's, over on Karma Valley, and then over here on my own channel, I did a video, and then I've been covering it since all the other lawsuits came out, all the other victims presented their stories. Okay. I will say, I want to wait to see the evidence in the court of law to the actual trial. This is a civil case, not a criminal case. Okay. Criminal and civil cases have different sets of rules. Okay. Civil cases, a lot of stuff comes out ahead of time. All right. Several of the civil cases against Manson have been dropped. All right. Manson filed his own suit against Evan Rachel Woods and Ilma Gore based on the fact that he believes the smear campaign happened, and on information that he received based on some false letters that were a false FBI letter that was presented in another civil proceeding, which was the actual custody arrangements of Evan Rachel Wood's child with the father's child. And it's actually court documented, and it's there, and it's been proved by the person they said was the agent, said it wasn't them. Said they didn't write it. Said it's not a real letter. Said there was no investigation as claimed. Okay. Now, Evan Rachel Woods did do Phoenix Rising, which was a documentary about the bad behavior of Manson, who is Brian Warner. Okay. He got a strong case. His case is strong. His legal team is strong, Spooky. If you read those briefs, you read how they're dismantling every point that they say. It's going to be interesting to watch the court. Okay. Now, on the other cases, there are civil cases by Esme Bianco, Ashley Morgan Smithline, and Jane Doe. They all have similar things involved. They all say that there was a lack of consent. Two of them have different things also said. One of them is a violation of immigration process in order of promising a job to come here to America and then not following through, falsifying records, false pretense, yada, yada, yada. Bunch of legal jargon that went with that. That would be Esme Bianco. The other one, Ashley Smithline, Morgan, she's going to say unfair labor practices. She's actually using that clause to say that she was used for labor and brought here to this country to be used for labor against a violation also of Immigration Act without being paid affordably, and is going to use the equal opportunity and fair payment laws against them to say that she did all of this work and was not was not reimbursed appropriately through the system, blah 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 blah. On top of all the other things that they're saying about him taking advantage of them in some way. They make horrible allegations of abuse against him. Okay. Oh. My opinion, Spooky, right now is that we have to wait. We have to wait and see. But I am leaning more towards this being more orchestrated at this point for some reason by those parties that he is suing. I think there's clear evidence from what I've seen so far that there was an organized effort to make a public smear campaign against him. Now, the question would be why? Okay. Why would a whole bunch of women want to do that to one man? Am I saying nothing happened? No, I'm not. Am I saying I know what happened? No, I'm not. Am I saying he's guilty? No, I'm not. Am I saying he's innocent? Nope. I'm not saying that either. I'm saying what I see is that a bunch of women got together and did several of them, there were 2 that organized it. They did put out a smear campaign. But there are other issues here. The consent issues that are coming up and also the statute of limitation issues that are coming up, I am very interested in. I do believe the statute of limitations do need to be extended for people that do file against abuse cases much later, because it takes longer for people to deal with things. Everybody deals with things. And if they can prove that they were in therapy, or that they had repressed memories, or they actually couldn't handle it, or they were harassed, harangued, or prevented from coming forward, which some of them are saying, okay. I do believe the statute of limitations, the way that we have these extenders in there that they can use, that can be applied, these amendments that can be applied to it, I think that needs to be looked at. And in the state of California, they have it, and they have been applied to the 3 cases that were actually filed that are still active. There was another case by Ashley Walters, which was his assistant, Brian Warner's assistant, and that case was tossed because that statute of limitations was pulled back because it was proved that, she just used that loophole after the fact when Brian Warner, I guess, said, you can't, you're crying foul 11 years later. It's outside the statute of limitations. She didn't bring it forward properly in a manner to where she was like going for it from the start. I mean, she knew how long the time was, but she didn't provide therapy notes and all of that other, or try to actually prove a case. She just, after they decided they were going to toss it, that's when she claimed, oh, I had regressed memories. Like, they didn't hear anything about it in the proceedings before that. So that case got dismissed. Just outright dismissed. But, yep, so I know that it sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook that I just gave you, Spooky Spoon, my friend. But it really is where I'm coming from on it. I can't actually say that anyone that he would be guilty at this point. I'm not going to say that. I am going to say I don't understand why 16 people all piled on one day. They all had stories. Like, is there something there? Like, I don't know. Did he ever do anything wrong? I don't know. I really don't. It's just, this case is a mess. Okay. And for me to try to say which side is less messier, I'm just tell you they both need diaper changes as far as I'm concerned. There's a bunch of poop going around everywhere. Like, I can't. Like, there's too much. It's very messy on both sides. Very, very messy, And when I see actual what gets presented in a court, I will say I'm quite impressed with Warner's legal team and the quality of those briefs to go against the accusations in the slap were brilliant. Okay. They pretty much knocked it down. And so we're going to see. We're going to see if it even gets to trial, because if they do agree that that Evan Rachel Wood's actions are protected by SLAPP, which means, a SLAPP means, it's a way to say that even though I said all this awful stuff about somebody, I was actually acting in the greater good of everybody. It's like a PSA. I was giving you a warning about this person because it's in your best interest, in the best interest of the public, to say this about a famous person. Okay. And it kind of protects them a little bit. And the state has it there. But I don't see how they're going to prove it. I really don't. Not based on the FBI letter coming up as supposedly, allegedly being false and not a valid letter from the FBI, and false allegations from them saying that there was an investigation against Brian at the time. The FBI is confirming there was not an active investigation going on against him. So there's testimony, there's a statement there from the actual model and actress who was in the groupie video, the one that they keep saying it looked like, he forcibly attacked against her will, and she may even have been demised, and that she was obviously underage. All not true. The person who actually was in the video came forward, said I was 20, 21 at the time. Everything was done with my consent. We even talked about how it would be done. That was all acting. That was all planned out. None of this that they're, accusing of, and they've never even talked to me about it, which was the most astounding thing that I read in the brief, is that here is Evan Rachel Woods and Ilma Gore making all these statements about things that happened, and they never even talked to the person it happened to, that they're claiming it happened to. Wow. That made bells go off in my head, but all right. So there's that, all of that about Manson. Yeah. Okay, she really put the kibosh on their fiction. Yes, she did. She absolutely did, because she was the person they were talking about. And she said, hey, they never even spoke to me. And I can tell you the truth, How do you get to watch Zoom meetings of court cases? All right, the one on Matheau Moore, it's not actually a Zoom meeting. It's going to be televised by Court TV. As far as those Zoom meetings, there are registration processes. Each court is different. Okay. And some of them you can actually watch the proceedings, and some you can't. You have to actually go, if you're talking about the Matheau Moore case that starts tomorrow, you could go to the Ohio court's website. There will be, you know what? I'll put one of the documents down below and give you a link. Let me just see if I can. That's going to be the Delaware County Court for the state of Ohio. Okay. And then you would actually follow the process to see if they can actually allow it. I do not believe for that case that they are allowing anyone else in there. They are allowing recording by a few media professionals, and they are allowing Court TV to do the live stream. Court TV is the only one that I heard that will have a live stream on it. I don't see a live stream coming directly out of the court like they did with Depp Heard. But if they do, I'll go grab it and I will try to get a hold of you. But as far as I know now, we're going to have to watch it through Court TV. If anybody hears otherwise, link me, boo. Send it to me, because I'm real interested in following this also, as I think some of you are too. Yeah, Beaver, I heard about those parties with Amber Heard. That's another thing, I don't really want to speak on that. I will say, I will say one thing about that. There's a lot of denial going on by everybody but Amber, because if you go back to years worth of statements from Amber, she never denied any of that. She was proud of a lot of that. She really was. It's all out there in her texts, her words. I say go to the source's mouth. I'm not going to believe all these people that are defending her. I'm going to go right to Amber, okay, and look at what she said about it. And that's all I suggest that all of you do too, because that will show you where the truth lies, okay? And she was the one involved. Go with the people who were actually there, okay? And none of this Johnny's dropping this out. Let's be clear. This got unsealed from the court. Johnny Depp did not release this. Johnny Depp is not making a smear campaign against Amber Heard with the unsealed documents. They're unsealed documents that are coming out for everyone. Amber Heard's own words are creating their smear campaign. Johnny Depp doesn't have to do a thing. Why would he bother? Really? Really? Yeah, I heard that, Dr. Osiris. The cameras aren't allowed in the UK courts at all. Although I did just watch a televised sentencing for the first time. For the very first time, it was like 2 weeks ago, and there was a sentencing, and they allowed the courts in there for an actual sentencing. Yeah, and so things may be changing a little bit. I'm not sure, but it was the very, very first time, and it was kind of cool. Because I do follow some of the English court over there. I like the way they put their judgments out on the judicial pages, and I can find out after the fact. But you're right, the courtrooms are closed. Um, eh, Basically closed. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Yeah, it was really cool, Dr. Cyrus. I'll try to find you the video, and I'll have a link. I don't know how to reach you besides YouTube, but all my contact information is on the back of the channel under the about and in the description below. If there's any of those ways that you can contact me, I'll get you the link. Otherwise, I'll just have it somewhere available for the next time I see you and try to drop it to you if I have a wrench. Okay. They need to make online acts. I am so with you on this, Aaron. This is the last thing that I'll say for the day. That they really do, especially the transcripts, faster and easier. Actually, after the court case, to find out about all the motions and all of the bench proceedings and the transcript, so we could have the actual thing. They got to make it easier. It is quite costly. It does get to be expensive to try to get certain court documents. Some of them are free, some of them aren't. I sign up for several different ways to do it. I get Pacer for ongoing cases. Not everything's on Pacer. The Manson case, you got to go right to Los Angeles. Okay. This one here in for Matheau Moore, I had to go right to the state of Ohio. I had to go right to that court. And theirs was actually the state court for Ohio gave me access free to the documents for a criminal case. I was quite impressed. Although they won't let me see inside the courtroom, they did give me all the documents, which is helpful, But yeah, I agree with you. I hear you, bud. Especially for getting all those the FOIA report, file and FOIAs to get the information, the public access and everything. It takes forever. It really does. And at least we do have some access to it. Every state's a little bit different, but I wish it was more unified. I really do. What can you do? All right. Okay. I think that's it. All right. So he'll do the YouTubey things. Don't forget to like this stream if you liked it. If you didn't, go ahead, use the thumbs down. I don't care. Just give me the engagement. Hit the back of the video with a comment. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to see. I mean, there's a lot of new cases coming up. There's a lot of things. I put some suggestions on the community tab. It was very interesting to hear what some of you had to say, but I'm always open. I am going to be adding some more things, looking at some older ones and some unsolved, but we do have quite a bit that we're covering already, and we'll just try to keep you informed as we go. This week, we are covering Trump tomorrow at 3:00, and then we'll have Mayhem at 7. We will definitely, most likely, yeah, talking in circles there. It's Monday. Here we go. We're looking to run a what the fuckery for the end of week shenanigans that happened on Twitter and YouTube and politics and everywhere else in the news and everything on probably Saturday in the evening. Probably be later than 7, more towards the later part of the evening. Well, that's the week. Don't forget, like, comment, share this out to people you think might be interested. And if you haven't subscribed, why? Why haven't you subscribed? I mean, you're here, you're watching. I know you're listening to YouTube. Hit the button. Every bit counts. On that, everybody, have a great day. And she is being, yes. Oh. Okay, you guys. I don't know what's going on in chat, but I'll figure it out when I read it back. I do. I love each and every one of you. Thank you all for behaving, supporting, liking, sharing, all of that stuff. And I'll see some of you tomorrow, or I'll see some of you next Monday. All right. Bye, everyone.